All right, so listen guys, I know it has been a very long while since I have uploaded. I haven't been uploading as much, but I had to cover this topic just because it is so major and completely changes the way that many people will look at Fortnite in the future, including 3 game modes being removed and also over 1,000, yes, you heard that correct, 1,000 employees that were laid off. So many people are angry about this, so without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, let's go over the employees. Epic Games actually released an article on their website that's very, very short, which is a little under 15 paragraphs, which I think is absolutely wild and a little bit disrespectful, and I'll go into why later, but I'll kind of just condense this down so you understand more what this actually means. Today, we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making. And I totally agree with that, but it's not justified, and we'll get into that later. This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. And some of our challenges are unique to Epic, despite Fortnite remaining one of the most successful games in the world. We've had challenges delivering consistent Fortnite magic with every season. We're only in the early stages of returning to mobile and optimizing Fortnite for the world's billions of smartphones, and in being the industry's vanguard, we have taken a lot of bullets in a battle, which is only in the early days of paying off for ourselves and all the developers. Now, this is the biggest thing I want to get into and the biggest text. Since it's a thing now, I should note that the layoffs are not related to AI, which is actually what I thought originally, due to the rapid advancement in AI and also how much cheaper it would be for Epic Games to use artificial intelligence. They then go into talking about UEFN and then also their passive Gears of War, but there's a lot of things wrong with this. As we all have known, Fortnite has gone towards the UEFN route these past couple of years, especially at the end of 2024. I think they've noticed a significant change in profit margins when they realized they can have just other people do the work for them and pay them out less of a percentage. They don't even have to do any work at all. They just create the software, which we've talked about in numerous videos. I even called that this was going to happen, that there would be layoffs sometime in the distant future, because they really don't need that many employees for Fortnite, especially if they're going more of the UEFN route. But one thing that Epic Games should have done very, very differently is not lay off so many employees, especially ones that built your game, including one of the main developers of Save the World. These are people that built Fortnite from the ground up, and seeing them get laid off when most of the problems are because of corporate is very, very tough to see. Listen, we talked about this with Fortnite OG. I do believe that Fortnite OG and the developers creating the game mode are severely restricted by the higher ups at Epic Games. Also, Rocket Racing, Ballistic, and Fortnite Festival are the 3 game modes being removed. I think I knew that Rocket Racing was just not going to work out. No, it's not the same as Rocket League, but it's very similar. I mean, why wouldn't you just go play Rocket League when it's its own game? Fortnite really needs to take a step back, look at their audience, look at what they want, and realize majority of the players that stayed after OG do not want UEFN and, unironically, AI game modes shoved in their face. It is pretty ironic that Epic Games noted that the layoffs aren't quote-unquote related to AI. However, they're paying out millions to game modes that are created with AI. Not to say there aren't creative-minded developers out there, but a lot of these big game modes are AI. And I think that's the reason that that's the biggest downfall of the game so far. They aren't really listening too much to community feedback. Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 2 is actually very great. I did play a couple of games, and I think with the right updates and being able to sustain throughout the season can keep people attached to Battle Royale. But the problem is they aren't doing that. Chapter 7 Season 1 had a fantastic marketing push, and so many people wanted to come back and play the game because it was a little bit different. They changed a lot of things up, and also they just made it a really cool beginning of a chapter. But the problem is, and what has been going on since I believe the start of Chapter 5, is that they can't sustain throughout the season. They need to think of something different than just shoving events in your face and also leaning on nostalgia so much. They just seem like headless chickens running around not knowing what to do when all they need to do is sit back for a bit and really realize what the community wants. And it's crazy to me that a multi-billion-dollar company with arguably one of the biggest games in the world still, with a concurrent 1 million player count, has to fire 1,000 employees, especially the ones that built the game from the ground up. You still need the core foundation in the game, or else it's going to get completely detached, exactly like it has been, and it'll move a completely different direction than what the community wants. Again, Epic Games, if you need help, my contact's in the description below. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Was this a correct decision from Epic Games, or was this not a correct decision from Epic Games? I would really love to hear y'all's thoughts, and hopefully in the near future, we got Fortnite OG Season 8 coming out. If y'all are returning subs to this channel, we're going to be posting a lot on that, so stay tuned, guys. Anyways, guys, it's been your boy Tricky, and I'm out. Peace.